No, see, I think you're very wrong and that you made a lot of assumptions and that you don't know what you're doing. You think you do, but you... And it's not your fault, but I need to correct you. Torvald did something really stupid. I know that, technically speaking, he's still married to you. And I'm not saying that none of this is his fault. There's fault on his part, for sure. But basically what happened, when you left, people noticed. And of course they noticed. People would ask, where's Nora? And Torvald, as you could guess, he was pretty upset about it. He felt pretty private about it. He didn't want to talk about it. It was embarrassing. People would ask where you are and he'd have to tell them that you had left. It was awkward, both for him and the person asking. And so at first, when people asked, he said that you had gone away, left town, visiting family, something like that. He really didn't say much about it. He didn't want to lie. But then when 2 months or so had gone by and you were still gone, I mean, I don't exactly know how it happened. Obviously, I was so little. I wasn't aware of what was happening. But someone had made the assumption that you weren't well and had gotten sick and you were recovering at a sanitarium. And Torvald didn't say no, so that was the story that went around. And then another month or so passes, and someone, somewhere, says something, or makes the assumption that it's worse than that, and that you hadn't recovered, and that you were no longer alive. And once people assume this, and Torvald, oh no, he's so far in. And to explain, I know it's a weak thing he did, but he had his job at the bank. He was a very well-respected member of the community, well-liked, trusted, and to have to explain such an embarrassing set of truths and misunderstandings and so on, he said nothing. And by saying nothing, he was sort of saying something, which is that you had died. And so once people came to think this, that's when, well, you know what happens when that happens. There's an outpouring of support and affection. People visited, they brought food. They really rallied around him. And us, the whole family. And there's also some government support for the families. There's some money you get. And of course there was no death certificate ever filed. These things sort of happen. Mistakes, oversights. Just because of the way people found out, this gradual sort of realization that that's what was. And because Torvald is a well-respected, trusted member of the community, he runs the bank. You see, it's a problem. You being here, doing what you're doing. It's fraud. Technically, it is. It's fraud. And Torvald could be tried. He could lose everything. just like you. And that is why he cannot give you your divorce. But there is another option. You die.